Well, after somehow dragging our way out of trouble last season, it would be very nice if we could have a bit less of a stressful time in Season 3 of the Premier League with South Shields. And that all starts with a good recruitment summer. We need to get rid of quite a bit of deadwood and bring in some more hot prospects. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more Football Manager 2024 and another part of non-league to Champions League with South Shields. Today we are back with our Season 10 transfer special as we look to settle into our third season of the Premier League and make some progress, get what is becoming a very nice squad into a contending squad. And I do feel like we could have a run at one of the cups this year. We could even sneak Europe if things go well. And a lot of that rests on today. We've got £43 million to spend. We've got £300,000 on the wage budget as well. So I'm really excited to try and build this side and work out where we can improve. But first of all, let's look back to last season. It was a miracle to stay in the league, it has to be said. Quick look at the signings, and our two main ones really that saved us were Hamid Gressman and Protogenes Bontonali, that's it, Bontonali, who scored between them 18 goals and created another 6 in 20 games and were just awesome. Very, very good, and they will be a big part of whatever team we build going forward. Absolutely brilliant to get those on board. We had Beto in on loan. He managed to get 16 goals in 19 starts. The fans aren't happy with that, but his goals absolutely saved us. Jose Carlos was somebody we brought in January. He will be leaving in the summer as he is homesick, so we need to get rid of him. Peretz came in as our new number one goalkeeper, and to be honest with you, I was a bit disappointed. I think we need to get back into the market with that, dip our toes in the water and find another goalkeeper. Our biggest signing of the season was Nassim Houssa, who came in for 17.25 million. Struggled in his first season. Was a good aerial threat. He's still only 21 years old, and he has got some awesome attributes. I think he is going to be an incredible defender going forward, but needs to improve next season, that's for sure. Mariakal as well came in from Dynamo Moscow. Again, not a brilliant season for him, and I think we will need to dabble in getting some more defensive cover. Vivaldo Semedo, he was meant to be our big signing, the turning signing, because on paper, he should be awesome in the Premier League, but it didn't quite work out for him. Only 8 goals and 2 assists, and only a 6.7 average rating. Oscar Aranda was definitely a good depth deal. 3 goals and 2 assists, very important times for him. Douglas Luiz had a good season for us. Just one season for him. He will be joining a Saudi club in the coming weeks. Hamza Morel is another player we got in on the cheap. A very young prospect. Played plenty of times this season. Again, a bit of a depth signing. And João Palhinha will be retiring at the end of the season. Only made a handful of appearances, but was a very useful guy to have around. Looking at the season results then, we started the season awfully. We only had 1 win in our first sort of 12 matches. We were rooted towards the bottom of the table. We did beat Fulham 5-2. That sort of signalled the turning point of the season. We looked a lot better after that, competing against Newcastle and Aston Villa before a 4-match unbeaten run, including draws against Crystal Palace, Brentford and Leicester, and also beating AFC Bournemouth 5-0. But it was really since February, we absolutely turned it around. A 5-4 victory against Burnley sparked 4 wins in 5 matches. And then we beat Tottenham 6-5. That was a ridiculous result. And 3 consecutive wins near the end of the season gave us a little bit of momentum. But we had some success in the Cups as well. Quarter-final of the FA Cup, 4th round of the EFL Cup. We were knocked out by Everton in the FA Cup. Don't know who went on to win that. Well, it's going to be Liverpool or Man City. Everton played Man City in the semi-final, so pretty glad we didn't get through. And the Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool, I believe. But yeah, disappointing that we went out on penalties to Bournemouth there. Biggest win of the season was 6-1 against Reading. Match to remember was a 3-1 victory over Brentford, our first victory of the season, very much needed at the time. And the goal of the season was for Lewis Skelly in that 5-4 victory over Burnley, which was just ridiculous, wasn't it? 12 million made in sponsorships this season, which is a big improvement. Slightly down on our broadcast revenue, but very much up on our corporate and hospitality. Doubled our prize money and doubled our match day commercial revenue. Hassan sold the most shirts, followed by Bontonali, Minty, Aranda and Lewis Skelly. And we have signed some new sponsorship deals, which is really, really good. Our best 11 of the season then: Peretz in goal with Chamadeu, Husa, Marachal and Alexander in defence, Lewis Skelly and De Silva holding the midfield with Minty, Gonzaga and Bontonali starting behind Beto up top. There's some of the fans awards. Fans player of the season was Jamal Gonzaga. Bontonali was young player of the season. Signing of the season was Bontonali as well. Miles Lewis Skelly got goal of the season. Beto was top scorer. Chamadeu was the most assists with 13, which is really good. And he got most player of the match awards at 4. Highest average rating was Jamal Gonzaga with a 7.2, and most passes completed was Nassim Husseur. Most goals by a player in a match was Gonzaga. Any other records? Obviously, highest transfer fee received was Simon Adingra, and fastest goal 17 seconds for Jamal Gonzaga. Okay, a remarkable season for South Shields really began to pick up speed towards the end of the campaign. We looked a class above anyone around them when they went for it late in the season. Few will have expected this outcome, but they merited it with that run and the results at the end. And I completely agree. I mean, it was very similar in a way to when Leicester stayed up the year before they won the Premier League. I'm not saying we're going to win it next year, but they were dead and buried. And I think they won 7 of the last 9 matches to stay up. And then they went on and won the Premier League the next season. So that was... It felt very, very similar to that, I think, and yeah, I'm delighted, absolutely delighted to come out of that very, very sticky situation and come through it with flying colours. In terms of the squad, I think there are some areas that are genuinely very, very strong, and I think will suit us for many years to come. The likes of Husa are going to be here a long time. Lewis Skelly has just signed a brand new 4-year contract. Gressman, Gonzaga, Bontonali, those are players that I want to be keeping for the long term. And looking at this squad, I think we can do that. Chamadeu is the obvious question mark. He is now a good Premier League player. He has developed a hell of a lot in this save. He is so much better than his career would suggest he should have ever been. But he's been awesome. He is wanted by a couple of Saudi Arabian club, so it's going to be whether we can hang on to him, whether we can tempt him perhaps with a new contract. He's only contracted for another couple of years, so I think a new contract in there for Chamadeu. Whether we get a new right back or not, he is going to still be a big part of that. So let's highlight the players that I think are going to be a massive part of our future. Douglas Luiz isn't going to be one of them, unfortunately for him, but we've got the core of the team. It's going to be about trying to develop some of the other areas, maybe getting another top class centre back, I think a left back that is suited to playing that role. Jack Allen's done a great job since he's come in that position, considering he's not a natural crosser. You know, he got 8 assists towards the end of last season, so he's playing really well as well. But I'm really intrigued to see how Alexander gets on next season, because he had a great year. 8 assists this year in the league for him, and it was an injury that has unfortunately stopped him from improving even more. He's a good Premier League player. Can he possibly do the Register role? I'm not sure. Maybe he can. Maybe he can be the one that sits in the midfield alongside Lewis Skelly as we sort of go forward with this. But Alexander's a good player, but he's 28 as well. You need to sort of think about that, and are these guys going to be around in 3-4 years? Novotny's somebody that still has 4.5-star potential. Proved last year that he could certainly mix it at Premier League level, but will he be somebody that stays around? I'm not entirely sure. Ahmed Hassan wants to leave, has been a big part of our team the last couple of years. Can he be somebody that we rely on going forward? But yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting summer. There's lots of players I definitely want to keep hold of. The likes of Brodie Hughes, very versatile, very reliable, dependable. The likes of Peretz and Hoyenhall, I would hope that we can keep them in the team and around the team, but also improve in that goalkeeper department. But there's a hell of a lot of players that are going to be going at the end of the season. Beto, I'd love to bring him back, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. Leon Bailey's already leaving. Douglas Luiz, Josh Da Silva is somebody that I think it isn't going to be good enough for us. He's 33 now. Didn't play that many games and didn't play that well last season. Didn't get a single goal or assist, so he will be going. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Polinia, they are retiring. I think Cody Dramer is going to be somebody that's leaving. He's only 2-star ability now. Miles Boney, I think, is finally going to be going as well. He's asked to leave, and I couldn't tempt him to stay. So he's going to be the sort of last man standing. Didn't make a single appearance this year, which is a real shame. It's his first year without an appearance, but he hasn't been playing regular football since our first season in League One. So I think it's time we let him go and have his career now. Pierre Koopmeiners is somebody I want to be getting rid of, and maybe even Marikal and Naroki certainly are players that I wouldn't say no to offers for. Semedo, for instance. I think we can offload a lot of that, but you've got to be able to bring in the quality to replace it. And I think we've got to be a little careful. We don't want to have too much turnover, but keeping the core of the team together is going to be the main thing. So I'm going to push forward now, and we'll see where we get to, perhaps with our first signing. Well, this is an interesting one. We are expanding the stadium again by 4,500 seats. This time, we are going to be staying in the stadium, which is really, really good. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be finished in September as well, which is awesome. So we are going to be getting to play at our stadium, but get another 4,500 fans in there. We're going to have a 25,000 seater stadium, which is bloody huge for South Shields, isn't it? This is awesome. By the way, remember when Brentford got the Europa League final but finished 19th in the Premier League? They went and won the Europa League. They're in the Champions League next season. Have you seen anything so ridiculous that Brentford are going to be a Champions League club but are also relegated? That is bonkers. Have you ever seen that in Football Manager? I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That Brentford are going to be attracting Champions League players, Champions League money, but also might not get out of the Premier, out of the Championship and back into the Premier League. It's all very bizarre, but quite hilarious to look at that. R and UCL in there. Okay, first signing of the window, one I'm really, really excited about, actually. It's Ekedi Mora. He is a 20-year-old Spanish wonder kid. He's about to turn 21, so he's going to lose that wonder kid status. But have a look at this. 18 finishing, 17 first touch. He looks really, really good. The one thing I would say is that he hasn't scored many goals. He has been playing in La Liga for Girona, and they're a team that have just finished 19th in the division, so maybe that's why perhaps he's not getting the service. But 8.25 million, had the likes of PSG, Newcastle, Everton interested in him, so I'm happy to get him on board. Let's see how good he is when we click continue. We want to see 3.5 stars, really. Oh, for God's sake, I thought that was that. I guess he doesn't join until the transfer window opens. When will it be? It doesn't actually say. 15th of June. Okay, interesting. Right. First sign of the window, though. Pretty happy with that. Well, there you go. 3.5 star is Mora. Comes in as a good Premier League player and can improve significantly. This could be a big signing for us. He's come in and he's already, not quite as good as Bontonali, but should be better than Beto, should be better than Semedo. Got to be happy with that. I think that's a good first signing for 8.25 million, already worth 50 million. Pretty happy with that. Well, straight away, this is a huge offer for Alexander, a guy that we got in on a free transfer, of course, a couple of years ago. Played very, very well for us. But I've got to say, 44 million is very, very tempted. Or very tempting, I should say. Yeah. I mean, we could stall the offer and just see how we feel about it, but that feels like a lot of money to turn down. And here's another interesting one. Wolves have come in and made an £18.75 million bid for Daniel Peretz. I think we have to accept that one. No questions asked. Getting some decent money for players that aren't part of our long-term future, I would suggest. Quite happy. So Semedo has joined Regensburg for 12.75 million, could reach 16 million. So we've made a profit on him from last year, and I think that's a good bit of business for us. Gets some extra money into the club, gets him off the wage bill. This isn't how I expected the start of this transfer special to go, but if we are getting some good money in for these sort of backup players, then hopefully we can go and spend that money on new wonder kids, new players that can be with us for the long term, possibly help us win a Champions League. So I think it's win-win here. Okay, next signing confirmed of the window is a player we wanted to bring in after his heroics last season. 15 Premier League goals. Gets him a permanent deal for £6 million here. I'm quite happy with that. It's a little bit pricey, perhaps, for a 34-year-old striker who will be 35 this season. But we know he can score goals in the Premier League. We know he probably will go and score goals in the Premier League. Definitely was worth bringing him in, I think, for 6 million. So I'm happy with that one. Novotny's going to go out on loan to West Bromwich Albion as well. So I'm really excited to see how he gets on in the Championship, and we'll see how it goes. But we've got a lot of money floating around at the moment. A very decent amount of wage budget, good amount of transfer budget. Alexander and Peretz have decided to stay so far, so we'll see if any more offers come in for them, but at the moment pretty happy with our summer business. Well, it's a new day, new clothes and a clean-shaven face, but we have our next signing. It is James Trafford. He is going to be coming in as our backup goalkeeper for £3.6 million. I think it's a good deal. He's obviously going to be better than Boney. He's probably going to be about the same level as Kim Christian Hoyenhau, but he is English, which I think is really important, and we have to obviously have that quota filled with Peretz leaving the club now. It opened up a spot. I still want to sign a better goalkeeper, somebody that will be our option for years to come, but he comes in and will surely do a decent job. He's always played well for Bayern Munich whenever he's been needed, so fingers crossed he'll be all right and gives us another option in between the sticks. Okay, two new signings then. We've brought in Hisham Boudou. Hisham, I think he's going to be known as, but he's a world-class defensive midfielder. He's come in on a free transfer from Nice in France, where he's been playing very well for many years, can play defensive midfield, can also play central defence, but looking at that, I think he's absolutely perfect for what we want in a defensive midfield. Okay, his long shots have a little bit to be desired, but he's an excellent passer of the ball, got good flair, excellent fitness in there, so he's got some really good physicals, and I'm excited to have him in. He is costing us £100,000 a week, which is a lot, but we were fighting a lot of good Premier League teams for this signing, so I'm really, really pleased with that. And if you look at him compared to our other defensive midfielders, he's alongside Alexander, Lewis Skelly, Morel in there, so should be a big improvement on the likes of Josh Da Silva. And fingers crossed he will do something good as a world-class player. We've also signed a 19-year-old Uruguayan striker, Andres Gonzalez, for £3.2 million. He comes in, he's already a decent Premier League striker, could be 4.5-star potential in the future. He's only 19 years old, has scored a decent amount of goals in his career already, but is somebody that I think we can develop and somebody that I think we can improve. Already got some decent attributes in there. Very good passing, very good technique, good finishing, good first touch, good dribbling. You know, you can't really complain too much about that. He's going to be an excellent advanced forward. So again, a good bit of business there for 3.2 million. At the very least, we'll make a hell of a lot of profit on him. Well, this is a bit of a nervy one. Michael Asante is an English hot prospect, already 3-star current ability. We are bringing him in on loan initially, but we will be spending £22 million at the end of the season for him. This is a bit of a risk. He hasn't shown proven goal scorer potential, but I think he will be good. I think he will come good. He's got some really good attributes, particularly off the ball, technique, good finishing, a decent pace, and he is English, and that really does sort of help things in terms of him. He's going to be coming in, and I think that's a really good deal for us, actually. He did score 2 Premier League goals last season for West Ham in 5 starts, so he can find the back of the net. I think can come in. He's not going to be a starter straight away. There's certainly no doubt about that. But we've got Mora in there. We've got Gonzalez and Beto now. So I think we've got 4 top quality strikers that can come in at any point of the season and do a job. And if needed, he can play in midfield as well. And worst case scenario, he should make us some profit, I would imagine, because he's English and he's only 23 years old. So fingers crossed, that's a good one. But that's the first one I've been really nervous about so far. Okay, this is a big one. This is going to be our record signing. Alan Murphy is going to be joining from Nottingham Forest. He is a very, very good goalkeeper. He's an Irish international, 3.5-star ability. I think he will be our goalkeeper for a long time going forward. He's exactly the type I was looking for, attribute-wise. Lots of bright greens in there, one-on-ones, reflexes, command of area. He's got excellent communication, good handling. He comes in as a much better option than what we've had in the past, and now with Hoy and Hal and Trafford there as backups, I think we've got a really good unit of goalkeepers that can come in and do the job. I know it's a lot of money, £55 million, but genuinely we could not find anything better. He comes in and is homegrown, which is really, really massive, because he's been at Nottingham Forest all his career. He's done a great job for them over the years. He played for Salford and Stoke on loan, but in the Championship, 12 clean sheets, 10 clean sheets, 18 clean sheets, and then in the Premier League, his last stint, when he was only 20 years old, got 5 clean sheets. So I think he's going to be a really, really good signing. It weakens one of our potential relegation rivals in Nottingham Forest, and I'm really hoping that he is a bit of a difference maker. He's got excellent leadership. He's a model citizen as well, so he's going to be really professional. I think he's possibly a future captain of the football club. And will do a really good job in goal. I really do believe that. Quick look at season preview, where they expect us to finish 15th now, so we're not expected to be relegation fodder anymore. Bearing in mind the board also expect us to avoid relegation, so we're not going to get away with a season like last year where we are languishing in the relegation zone for so long. We probably will get the sack if that does happen, so we need to be a little bit careful, but we are signing plenty of players, and some really good players in there. Bontonali and Husa are designated our best players at the football club. But yeah, there are some weaker teams than us in the league this year. So I do believe that we can push up the league and do something good. But I'm happy with our transfer business so far. We've got plenty more action to come as well. We are talking to Gabriel Nigu, who is a 20-year-old Romanian international centre-back. Again, looks very, very good. Already good at heading and tackling, marking, passing, technique, all of those sort of things. And he's only 20 years old, has been playing very, very well for Football Club Bucharest, I'm assuming. Looks decent, so I'm happy with this. That's going to cost 3.7 million, and we've got plenty more that we have in the pipeline, because we've still got 30 million pounds to spend. We've still got players to go out, so it's looking good right now. Here we go then. Our next signing of the window is Gabriel Nigu, who comes in from Romania. Looks like a very good player. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Definitely somebody that will need a bit of nurturing, need a bit of development, but has got some good attributes already. Good decisions, good bravery. I just think that this looks like the right sort of a player for us, and the way that we play, ball playing defender. He's got good pace, good strength, and is quite tall, so he should be a good signing, I think. Ethan Wheatley and Miles Boney, they are leaving the club. It's a real shame to see Wheatley going, but he has pretty much collapsed as a player over the last year or so. Obviously didn't play a single game last season, had some big injuries last year, and I do think that his best days are behind him, unfortunately, and for a player that was once worth £25 million to us, he's now gone. He's gone to Wigan, and they combine for 250 grand at any point in the loan deal. Miles Boney, he's gone out on loan to Guiseley until the end of the season. 34 years old these days. Again, didn't play last year, so hopefully he can go and live out the rest of his days down in the National League. We're going to keep him at the club, and obviously we can go and recall him at some point if we absolutely needed to. But what a player. He has been absolute legend of South Shields Football Club, and fingers crossed he will get to play some games this season for Guiseley. But I'm very, very happy with the shape of the squad. You have a look at that and you can see lots and lots of good star ratings, and you're looking at the likes of Aranda, Brodie Hughes, David Washington, Jack Allen, Hoyenhal, Morel, Marikal, Trafford. Those are our absolute depth signings. They are not players that are going to be playing week in, week out, but these are quality backups. We do have a few trials in there. They are coming to an end. I'm not really that bothered. I don't want to be spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on older players. I mean, this guy's the one that I'm looking at and thinking, is he going to be the one that gets away? Because he looks good. But I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he's wanted by lots of Premier League sides. It feels like one that we should go and get, Tom Krause there, because he could be as good as any of these guys that I'm raving about. If we have a little look at the comparison report, you can see our average age has come down a little bit, which is good. 4th in the Premier League now, but we have got a very tall squad, decent weight there. Getting up there with average international caps as well, which is a good one. Average player transfer value is now 14th in the league, above average in the league. If you look at all positions, decisions is where we are struggling, but we are above average in many areas. Goalkeeping might be our weakest position, but we'll have to see as we go forward. Defence, if we have a look at our defence, it's looking pretty decent, particularly in tackling and marking, which is, in my opinion, the most important part of a defender's duty. If we have a look into our midfield, it's looking very, very average. I suppose the worst place is that decisions again. And then in attack, I think we're in a really exciting place, actually. Finishing is very high. Long shots is pretty high. Heading is high. Jumping reach is high. Pace is a little bit lower than average, but hopefully that won't matter too much as we move on to physical. We're looking like a good physical team. Mentally, very, very good, and technically very, very good as well. So fingers crossed we can have a good season. I do feel like it's coming. I think I will put in an offer for this Krause guy, and we'll see if we can get him. So there we have it then. We reach the end of the summer transfer window. We are playing Man United in the first match. I mean, this is ridiculous. Have a little look at this schedule in the opening matches. We've got Man United away, Tottenham away, Man City at home, Arsenal at home, and Liverpool at home in our first 8 matches. It is going to be 7 matches, actually, because I was including the EFL Cup in that. So in our first 7 matches, we're playing 5 of the teams you would expect to see right up there come the end of the season. West Ham aren't easy. Sunderland aren't going to be easy either. But we've had a good pre-season, has to be said. We won a friendly cup, which is great. We beat AZ Alkmaar 8-1. That's the sort of result that just opens your eyes a little bit, and you think that could be a match in a Europa League or something. AZ Alkmaar are not absolutely dreadful. They have been. Where's the domestic league? Can we see the domestic leagues? Doesn't look like we can. But AZ Alkmaar finished 2nd in the Eredivisie a few years ago. So, they are still a top Dutch team, and we have absolutely hammered them 8-1 in the week before the season. So it's been a good summer, I think. You look at this team, and I would suggest it's a hell of a lot stronger than the team we ended last season with. Alan Murphy in between the sticks. I think he's going to be an incredible signing in goal. Chamadeu at right back, still going strong. Couldn't find anything better than him. He's 3.5-star ability at right back. Had a wonderful end to last season, so I think he deserves the chance to lead the team going forward. Hussein Nigu in the centre of defence and Alexander returning at left back. I think long term he's going to become probably a defensive midfielder alongside Lewis Skelly, but for now he's going to stay at left back until we have a new signing, which I do have one with a fee agreed, and I think he's going to be amazing, but I'm going to hold off on it because we don't have the funds for him yet. We've got a few other transfers in the works. So tomorrow's episode, we're going to have transfers as well. It's going to be crazy. We've got Bubadeo and Lewis Skelly in defensive midfield positions. Then we have got Minty, Gonzaga and Bontanali as our three behind Andres Gonzalez up top, who's going to lead the line. He's a 19-year-old. I think he's going to be very, very good. Has scored a decent amount of goals in the past. So he's going to lead the line today instead of Asante. But we could put Asante up top. We could put Beto up top. We've got those options now, which is really good to see. And those are 3-star players as well. But Ekadi Mora, who is the guy I'm really, really excited about, he is out on duty at the Olympic Games, so he won't play the first couple of games of the season, but I'm so excited to have him in there. David Washington still knocking around the club. I think he's going to be leaving soon. £22 million to Reading. I think that's an awesome deal for us personally. Brodie Hughes and Hoyenhall are still around, but this is a big one. Gressman, who I was expecting to lead us to some really good performances in the opening few matches of the season. He picked up an injury in that AZ Alkmaar match, and he's going to be out until probably about January time, and that's a big blow. So we're going to have to go into the transfer market and get another right winger because, well, we're a little thin on the ground in terms of absolute numbers, and we got rid of a lot of our dead wood, so now we need to go and sign some squad players, I think, rather than star signings at this point. But yeah, really, really excited to see where we will finish. The Premier League season preview has us up in 14th place now, 350 to 1 to win the title. I think we could easily finish in the top half this year. I think we've got the squad to do it. It's just about going and getting those results, particularly early on, because we've got a lot of difficult matches, and we just need to try and get as many points as we can out of those matches, against the likes of Man United, against the likes of Tottenham. But it's going to be very, very difficult, but we will see the opening 2 matches in tomorrow's episode. So if you have enjoyed that, give it a massive thumbs up down below. Predictions down in the comments. Where do you think we're going to finish this season? Who's your favourite signing of the summer? Subscribe for daily Football Manager videos, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.